it's morning here in Coconut Grove, Miami. We had sushi last night and went straight to sleep because we were exhausted from the long sail yesterday. But we got a mooring ball this morning after anchoring last night. And Kelsey's cooking us breakfast.
Morning.
What are you making, Kelsey?
We got scrambled eggs with cheese, shredded up some potatoes for some hash browns, and some bacon.
It's gonna be delicious. I'm excited. Yummy.
Just doing a sand down of our table. There's a couple spots which I still need to patch, some low spots on the table, but doing one final sanding, then it's warm enough now to where my patches will cure pretty quickly. So I was waiting till Florida to fix these things because I would have the heat I needed to make things cure fast.
That's like the third or fourth time he's worked on this stupid table. Hopefully this time will be the last time.
So the work on a boat is never done. Now that we're here, and we're gonna be here for a few weeks, it's time to continue the work that I was doing previously in Annapolis. It got too cold near the end of the season for some of my outdoor fiberglass projects. It was cold enough to where the curing time was long enough to become impractical. Now that we're in Florida and we're in the mid-80s, my glass work cure times will be quick. So back to it. One of the projects I have that I've been working on is glassing in the transom steps. On our model catamaran, the transom steps are kind of just screwed into place and they have like a sealant around them to keep the water out, but it doesn't really work. And a lot of the issues in our rudder room, rusting rudders and just water entry and so forth, is just due to the fact that this was kind of a bad design. The newer boats obviously have fixed this, but we still have to deal with the old design. So I'm glassing in the stairs. It will mean that we cannot remove them, but to my knowledge, there's no reason that you would ever need to remove these stairs unless you're trying to install maybe like an air conditioner in that rudder room, in which case I could think of a couple other ways to do it without removing the stairs. So we're glassing them in, just to keep the water and everything, it's like seal up the rudder room. It doesn't need to be exposed to as much water as it is. So what I did is I tore out the old caulk, which had a whole bunch of growth and algae underneath it, right along here. And I'm sanding it down with this handy little finger belt sander tool. I'm gonna do it along here. I'm also gonna take these screws out. And then along the bottom here, same thing, I'm gonna take the screws out. So I'm at least gonna do that, but I'd like to seal in the entire set of stairs. But I'll do the project piece by piece, just so that I don't get stuck somehow with too much of it in progress. So I'm going to continue sanding out and basically making a nice bevel, getting down to the clean fiberglass so that I can put new fiberglass on and it'll lay nice and smoothly. Last night when we were pulling the dinghy up with this winch right here, it was making a really, really bad squeaky sound that was coming from inside the winch, and we've never serviced our winches ever since we've owned the boat. And you're supposed to do it once a year, and we just put it off. So I watched a video last night on YouTube, and now I'm servicing our winch. It was time. It was dirty in there. So that's what I'm doing. It's not too hard.
What you doing?
I had filled in some voids with this 2-part epoxy filler, but no matter what I do, I can't get the gel coat to cure on top of that 2-part epoxy filler, so something about those two things don't agree with each other. So I've ground it out. It's like my last resort. I just completely sanded away with the belt sander all the 2-part epoxy stuff. And I'm just gonna fill it with gel coat. Mixing up a little batch of gel coat, hopefully this is the last one, and I can finally just get this table looking shiny and done and move on to another project. I mean, I'm already doing other projects, but it's annoying to keep coming back to this one.
Did you hear about the kidnapping at the local middle school around here? It's fine, he woke up.
Oh God.
I swear these get worse every day.
The baby monitor runs off AC power, which is kind of annoying because it means we have to have the inverter on all night long. Really what it is it plugs into the AC power and then transforms it back to DC. So it's even more annoying that it's going from DC to AC to DC, but it's at DC 5 volt and we're a 12 volt system. So I have about a few of these previously. They're buck converters, and they will convert DC to DC. So it'll do DC 12 volt to DC 5 volt. That's how this thing runs. This is a 5-volt rig and it's always on without the inverter. So I'm gonna figure out, I just need to look up, see if this can handle the amperage. But yeah, this I'm basically gonna rig it so that we can run the baby monitor 24/7 without the inverter having to be on, because that will mean that we save approximately like 40 to 50 amp hours a day just having the inverter off when we don't need it on. This then goes into the monitor. This will come from the house bank, and then this will transform the 12 volt from the house bank into the 5 volts for the baby monitor. So I wired in a pigtail connector that comes off the back of the same power supply as the fan. This is semi-temporary because, as you can tell, this fan is pretty old and I'm gonna get a new one eventually. Plugs in like this, and let's test it out. Let's do our cord. We get a little blinky red LED. So that means it's charging, it has power. Let's turn on the camera. Now the LED lights up, that's good. Baby monitor on. Ooh, got some reverb. All right, it's working. We've only been using the baby monitor as an audio monitor predominantly because we don't have a shelf in this room, so I'm gonna build the shelf. We don't wanna leave these wires just dangling in the baby's room, so I'm gonna tuck them up in the ceiling, run them through, put a shelf in this corner for the monitor. So once I have that, I think the baby monitor project will be done. The girls have gone to shore, leaving me alone on the boat to do boat work and work. Our boat has apparently grown some whiskers. Honu definitely needs this shave, so I'm gonna get the finger grinder out. I'm not gonna finish this project right now because it's really windy today. We're getting lots of splash from the transoms, but I can at least trim off the pointy, dangerous fiberglass. So, and that'll be a good, basically, pause. The next thing to do would be just put some gel coat on it to keep the fiberglass just basically UV protected. Maybe I'll do some of that today, I don't know. But at the very least, let's get this whiskers trimmed off. So it's a little messier than I thought. I think I need to get the vacuum going also. After significantly more time than I anticipated, which I should have anticipated it taking a long time because every boat project takes a long time, I've got it done. I'm pretty pleased with how it looks. It's gonna need a couple layers of gel coat and massage and polish. I mean, it looks a little rough, but that's what I expect at this point. Ground it down to where it's nice and smooth. Like I said, I'm not overly concerned with the little gel coat nicks or the spread of the epoxy beyond where it needs to be, because that's all going to get cleaned up when I do the gel coat work. I had a couple holes here from an old mount that wasn't being used anymore. Patched those up, and then down here, same thing. And I know it looks ugly, but we're not at the cosmetic stage right now. We are at the structural stage, so it's good enough. That should keep the water. So the water was dripping in through these holes and through this seam right here, getting into the rudder room, causing rust on the rudder and just a lot of humidity in the rudder room. Now with these two spots, I've stopped 95% of the water ingress into the rudder room over here. I can worry about cosmetics later, a little bit later. I mean, not too much. I'm gonna get to it soon, but I'm gonna do all the gel coat cosmetics at the same time because I'm gonna try to color match the original paint and the original gel coat color, and that's paint. So I'm just gonna do all that in one big, probably week-long gel coating project. This project is done. One more project to do before I can sit back and kick my feet up. I'm gonna install this piece of wood in the corner here, like so. A couple screws, and it should be a quick one. There we go, the final installation. I had to lean it forward some, but this is how it looks on the monitor, and we can move it around if we want to, this way or this way, and then up or down. So I'm pleased with the installation. It's just crazy how when a normal thing like a baby monitor becomes a bigger project on a boat, because it's harder to run wires and you don't want to be AC, you want to be DC, and the thing's DC anyways, and boat life definitely keeps it interesting. Yeah, I think that's it for this video. It was kind of a random assortment of boat projects, but boat projects always tend to be a random assortment of things, and we're gonna be intermixing refit stuff with just fun things. So thanks for watching this video, and we'll see you in the next one.